City of St. Louis are pressing forward with efforts to keep guns out of kids' hands, and transparency for police could also come with the proposal. News 4's Deon Broxton joins us live at City Hall tonight to explain.
Sam, we've seen those videos of teens carrying guns in downtown St. Louis. While officials here at the St. Louis Board of Aldermen are working to stop things like that, but some people are concerned that these people might get stopped. Sorry, that was a firework. But some people are concerned that people might get stopped and frisked. Well, there are bills that exist that address all of these issues.
Minors carrying large weapons out in the open prompted Alderwoman Kara Spencer to introduce legislation restricting gun access to teens in St. Louis.
Will this bring stop and frisk vibes? How will these interactions happen when law enforcement and people of color have interactions?
People have told News 4 the bill raises concerns about civil rights. So in response to Spencer's bill possibly being passed, Alderman Rasheed Aldridge introduced a bill requiring more transparency from officers.
Not saying that police are doing anything wrong, but the reality is still in communities of color that look like mine, there's distrust with law enforcement.
Aldridge's bill requires officers to provide business cards, including an officer's name, badge number, and contact info for the city's Civilian Oversight Board, an independent group investigating citizens' concerns with police officers.
This is a good balance of making sure that we have enforcement, but also transparency.
The bill also requires cops to reassure individuals they stop they have the ability to say no to a consent search.
I don't see a lot of illegal or unauthorized searches when it comes to complaints against officers.
In a Public Safety Committee meeting Thursday, St. Louis Metropolitan Police Chief Robert Tracy says police already follow these rules.
I do have concerns with some of the things that there might be some redundancies and things that we already have in policy.
What we're trying to do is codify it into law so that they have to actually follow it.
The bill passed out of committee Thursday and was debated on the floor Friday. Alderman Aldridge says the bill gives police the discretion to mold the policy.
The board could pass this bill next Friday, but the mayor would still have to sign off on it. If it passes, the police department will have 3 to 4 months to implement these changes. Live in downtown St. Louis, Deon Broxton, News 4.
Certainly a story we'll continue to follow. Deon, thank you. It has been